On Christmas Eve dinner, my aunt arrived and asked, "What did you do with the inheritance Grandma left you 3 years ago?" "What inheritance?" I asked. "Grandma left everything to the animal shelter. Mom told me she didn't believe in family handouts." Aunt Matilda's eyes widened, her champagne pausing at her lips. She slowly turned to look at my parents. Mom's face drained of color so fast I thought she might faint. Dad suddenly became fascinated with cutting his ham into impossibly small pieces. "Camilla, honey," Aunt Matilda said slowly, like she was explaining something to a child. "Your grandmother left you $50,000. I was there when she signed the will. She wanted you to finish your degree without working yourself to death." The dining room felt like it was tilting. I gripped the edge of the table, my knuckles white against the burgundy tablecloth. "That's not possible. I was at the will reading. There was nothing for me." "You weren't at the real will reading," Matilda said, pulling her phone from her purse. "I have photos of the documents. Your parents handled everything as executors. They told me you were too upset to attend." She slid her phone across the table. There it was, clear as day. My full legal name. $50,000. Dated 3 years and 2 months ago. 3 years. I'd been working 2 jobs for 3 years. The overnight shifts at the warehouse that destroyed my back. The weekend waitressing job where drunk custobiasers grabbed at me. Sleeping 4 hours a night in my car between shifts because gas money to drive home twice wasn't in the budget. "You took it." My voice came out as a whisper, but it might as well have been a scream. "You took Grandma's money while I was eating dollar store ramen and stealing toilet paper from work bathrooms." Mom's hands started trembling. "We were going to tell you, sweetheart. We had bills. The mortgage was underwater, and your father's business." "Your business?" I turned to Dad, who still wouldn't look up from his mutilated ham. "The one you started right after Grandma died? The boat rental company?" Silence. "You used my inheritance to buy boats?" My voice was rising now, cracking like ice on a lake. "I dropped out of nursing school because I couldn't afford it. I've been cleaning bedpans for minimum wage because I couldn't afford to finish my degree." Dad finally looked up, his face flushed. "We were investing it for your future." "My future?" I stood so quickly my chair toppled backward, crashing into Mom's china cabinet. "I got evicted twice. Twice. I lived in my car for 3 months. You came to visit me at that shelter parking lot and brought me a casserole like you were some kind of saints." The memories came flooding back like a dam bursting. Mom suggesting I should budget better when I called crying about choosing between groceries and gas. Dad lecturing me about pulling myself up by my bootstraps while he was literally wearing boots bought with my money. The time they took me to dinner for my birthday and let me cry about not being able to afford textbooks, then ordered dessert while I sipped my water because I couldn't afford an appetizer. "The health insurance," I said, a new horror dawning. "I've been without health insurance for 3 years. I haven't been to a dentist. I superglued a broken tooth shut because I couldn't afford." My voice broke completely. Aunt Matilda stood up, her face carved from stone. "Sydney, Tobias, this is fraud. This is felony theft." "She's family," Mom wailed, mascara creating black rivers down her cheeks. "We didn't steal. We borrowed." "Borrowed?" I laughed, but it came out like breaking glass. "Did you borrow when you went to Greece last summer? Were you borrowing when you renovated your kitchen? When you bought that hot tub I wasn't allowed to use because I didn't contribute to household expenses?" Grandpa, who had been silent until now, pushed back from the table. His cane shook as he stood. "Your grandmother would be horrified," he said quietly, which was somehow worse than yelling. "She scrimped and saved every penny working at that factory. She wanted Camilla to have what she never did, an education without suffering." I looked at my parents one last time. They looked smaller somehow, shrinking into their chairs like deflating balloons. "I trusted you," I said. "When I was at my lowest, sleeping in a car in January, eating ketchup packets for dinner, I still trusted that you were as broke as I was, that we were struggling together." Aunt Matilda put her arm around me. "We're leaving. Camilla, you're coming home with me tonight. We're calling my lawyer in the morning." As I walked toward the door, Mom sobbed, "You can't just leave. We're your parents." I turned back. No, parents don't watch their children suffer while spending their money. Parents don't steal their daughter's future and call it love. The last thing I saw was the Christmas tree, decorated with ornaments I now realized were probably bought with my inheritance.